Financial advice? Sure, we can do that here. A lot of denial out there, and lots of hopeful signs. Also projections, indicators, etc., etc., etc. None of which alters the situation. We're in a recession. I'm no financial wizard, but in the interest of avoiding a general panic, I thought I would provide a few tips on how to deal with a recession. First of all, recession is like hair loss. In fact, hair loss is one example of recession, and it can also be caused by another kind, the economic recession. A severe financial downturn can make a person's hair fall out in clumps. And people can deal with fiscal recession much as they would with hair loss. They can accept it and feel bad. I've been rich and I've been poor, and believe me, rich is better. Accept it and proclaim that bald is beautiful. These people declare that poverty is a sign of innocence and ethical purity. Good luck with that. Try anything from miracle drugs to elixirs, powders, poultices, potions, oils, spells, or plasters. For example, playing the lottery. Transplant small patches of hairy skin from elsewhere on the body to the bald portions of the scalp. In this way, part of your leg, back, or groin may be growing on your head, which is often exactly the way people feel when they've been hit by an economic recession. Recession is like a wreck at sea. You've heard the expression, women and children first. What they're talking about there is victims. Okay? So much for the comparisons. Now for the advice. Let us suppose you are either self-employed or a small businessman. Both are very risky positions, even in the best of times. You either knew what you were letting yourself in for when you made this move, or you didn't. Now, faced with a recession, you suddenly realize it doesn't make any difference whether you knew or not. Either way, you're washed up, you're ruined, you're history. No one has your back. Don't despair. You have at least two practical options. Number one, join an organized religion. You have many to choose from, and religion, though it got a bad name from the greedy, oversexed televangelists and horny, oversexed priests, has provided comfort and solace and sometimes food to millions of people throughout history, especially in times of plague, famine, war, and recession. Since the economy has driven you to your knees anyway, you might as well try a prayer. Number two, if the spiritual answer is not for you, you might look to science for salvation. You can freeze yourself into a state of suspended animation and come back when prospects are brighter. Cryonics is still in the experimental stages, it's true, but advances are being made all the time. It might be worth a shot. It's also expensive, just at a time when you're pinching pennies, but the high cost can be mitigated if you only freeze your head. Those who feel that's too big a sacrifice should investigate an intermediate plan that might allow you to save 2 or 3 of your favorite body parts at an affordable rate. If neither of those options appeals to you, then I advise you to store plenty of uncontaminated water and canned goods. Now let's turn to those people who are smart enough to work for a company, a big company. Yes, you lose some freedom, but what you gain is that priceless commodity, security. Unfortunately, security is a pipe dream, and one of the first victims in a recession. Let's say you're a lower echelon employee of a big company, meaning you're actually called upon to do some work. Sorry, but that means you're expendable. You're going to be let go. You're not going to be fired because you're not important enough to be fired. You're going to be let go. Imagine yourself water skiing behind a boat. Now imagine someone in the boat cutting your line. You have been let go. You sink down into the water and the boat speeds away. No one waves goodbye and the boat does not circle to pick you up. What you do is look for land and large dorsal fins circling in the water. Now let's suppose you're a more clever or fortunate person and you have somehow managed to position yourself in at least the middle management of that big company. You have the kind of job that defies explanation. No longer. Oh, it still defies explanation, but you don't have it. Your big company has been bought by the Japanese or the South Africans. It doesn't matter. You hear it's going to be streamlined. That means you're out, you're screwed, you're part of the fat that's going to be cut. Pack up your coffee mug and the pictures of the wife and kids. Everything you've worked so hard to build has turned to ashes. You'll be lucky to get your vacation days plus 1 day per year of service to the company. The one good thing is that you'll have plenty of company, even if you no longer work for one. You meet the nicest people in those long, slow-moving unemployment lines. You'll make a lot of new friends and spend your evenings in support groups expressing your sense of frustration, pain, and rage.